Hi there. Today we're going to look at how to use Python code in Quantlab and how to schedule a bit of Python code into the scheduled server. And the example we're going to use is how to recreate a tweeting engine, a tweeting bot. And so let's look at an example that we just recently did. We have on the Algorithmica account a tweeting bot that publishes a fear greed index with a little graph, and it does that every morning at 6:15 p.m. So let's go behind the scenes and see how we did this. And first of all, we need to install Python on the server, and this is fairly easily done. It's just to go to the Python Windows release catalog and download the latest version. Make sure to install the Python into a folder and enter it into the system variables, so you can run it from the command prompt wherever you're at. You can see that it works by going into the command prompt and writing Python, and see that it's loaded. And you might have to do this as an administrator on the server, so that you get full access rights. So with the Python installed, we're ready to look at the Python script that we want to run our tweets from. And here it's quite a simple one that we've borrowed from online, where we will use Python way of using libraries. So we import TweePy and also the sys library in order to get the authentication, the authentication handler. And we also want the tweeting API. And I've grayed out the access tokens that you can check out from the tweeting, from the Twitter dev site. So this is the Python script that we want to schedule and run from Quantlab. And as you can see, we have a main function with 2 arguments that we need to pass to the Python script when we run it. So let's go ahead and see how we do that then. So we will open the code, and this has a bit more code in it than just calling the Python, because we actually need to get the data out and of the system. So as you saw, we need to get some data out, we need to do some calculations, and we also need to print a graph. So let's look at how that is done. First of all, we fetch some data using Quantlab's built-in data management. So we get a series, and we do the calculations, the daily change and the rolling average, and also the last and the previous and the max and the mean. So now we have all the metrics that we need to print. So then we use the graph library, and we make a bitmap graph. We actually make a VMF graph as well, and we write these to file. And it turns out that Twitter doesn't accept bitmaps, so we needed to do a bit of conversion so we can have a PNG, for instance. And by using the magic library, we can convert our bitmap graph into a PNG that would work for tweeting. So the first thing that will happen is we convert it, and then the trick is here to run the command line to get a bitmap of this graph. And then we get to the actual tweeting. So we can now write the tweet that we want to have. So it's just we hard code the tweet that we want to have with the values that we want to send. So we can see that we're passing the values into this tweet. And then the only thing we need to do is to run the Python script using a command line. So by uh, joining together some strings, calling the Python using the Python path to the Python code, and then passing then the tweet and the picture path to the tweet and the picture path are the two input arguments that we had in our Python function. Note here that on this command line we have placed double quotation marks in the command line, because the command line wants the double quotation mark and not the single one, single quotation, in order to run with the parameters that have potentially space in them. And with this done, we can then again run the process. We can run the command line by using the command spawn process and sending the command to the command line and fetching the results if anything goes right or wrong by logging this in the Quantlab environment. So this little program will get our data, make a graph, convert the graph, collect the tweet, and then run the Python code that we had. So now we're ready to deploy this code into server mode. So we will go over to the scheduler, and we can see that we have the tweet algo index scheduled with the parameters that we gave to this function. We run it in the morning by using last night's data with Swedish calendar, and this is the actual item, the data item, which contains the index values that we want to calculate. And we have a path to the bitmap, and we have a path to the Python script that we want to run by using the command line. And we have also said that we want to include the picture. So now we can go ahead and schedule this. And as you see, it's scheduled to run every weekday at 6:15. So this will run every morning and log if it fails, and it will end up giving the world a morning tweet of the fear greed index. And it's as simple as that. Thank you very much.